Okay, welcome to 1301. So we have Cecilia sleeping, and Catherine has just aged up into an infant. I actually accidentally started going into this year in the last one, but I'm going to finish it up. So this one might be a lot shorter than the first one. So we have William just kind of taking care of himself and his needs, and Cecilia's sleeping. I actually just had her get up. She is pregnant. I believe. Oh no, I'm sorry. She just had the baby. So they did woohoo. I want to say in the last one, and we're not sure yet if she's pregnant. But we've just got her taking care of the household. William's going to be handling his stuff like fishing and trying to get money. I can't figure out how to take the events off the calendar. I tried to download a mod to remove it and it's not working. So if you know how to get rid of them, please let me know, because just in normal gameplay they're very annoying for me. And then for whatever reason, she did not want to feed the baby. So I kept trying to get her to go feed the baby, and it kept glitching out. So at first I thought it was maybe like a mod that was glitched or something. So I kept trying to figure out what was wrong, and I wound up going in to get a couple items for a toddler room, because she was actually going to be aging up on Friday. I'm sorry. Yeah, Friday to a toddler. So I got a high chair so that we could try to maybe try extra foods. I don't think I ended up doing it at all. I'm pretty sure I didn't really use that. But at least not in this one. They might have used it when she was a toddler. So now we've got Cecilia awake and just making stuff. So she's cooking. I want to say William had gone hunting or foraging at this point to try to get some food. And we also have the Great Famine in about 14-ish years starting. So I want to try to stock up on that food stuff. But yeah, so I wound up cheating the baby's need because it kept glitching out and she would not feed the baby. So I just wanted to not lose the child over that glitch. And then it was like introduce the baby to its mom. It was really weird. Like it wanted William to introduce the baby to Cecilia, who's the baby's mother. So like Catherine, the infant, didn't know her mom. Like it was strange. But when I looked in the family tree and like had the relationships was set correctly to her mom, like it was so strange. And you see, like I tried to just get them to introduce them to see if then that would allow her to take care of the baby, and even that was kind of weird. Like as you can see, it won't let her breastfeed, so they're literally just struggling to take care of this kid. But I wound up redoing the room at some point so that way we had a bassinet in case she did get pregnant again, and I had deleted the invisible bassinet. So I wanted to have something so that way if there was another child that comes along, we don't have the automatic invisible bassinets. And then I realized that she was probably not able to breastfeed because of the Wonderful Whims mod, which she was like battling mastitis, which is very painful. So that's why she won't breastfeed. So it wasn't actually a glitch. It was just a mod that I don't know how to use clearly. So, and then I'm just putting the stuff that he got in his inventory. We're breeding frogs to try to make some money. I'm trying to update the house like as we go on this one. And honestly, so far I think we've done pretty good. But I was just trying to get her to take care of the baby. And like I said, there was some kind of weird issue where it also wasn't registering the fact that, like, actually, I don't know if I had bought the bathtub yet. It wouldn't let me bathe the kid because it said we didn't have a bathtub, but I almost feel like I did have a bathtub. And then it finally let her breastfeed. Oh, we don't have a bathtub yet. So it finally lets her breastfeed, and it's just kind of the whole thing. But every 5 seconds, she kept trying to bottle feed because of the mastitis, and I was just frustrated. Bottles didn't exist in 1301, and the sink kept breaking. The CC sinks and, like, items break a lot. So he was fixing the sink, and we're just kind of going through the time. She's having a really hard time with her needs. I'm not very good at taking care of their needs the natural way. And you'll find that occasionally I do cheat because I have to survive. And so I just have her trying to raise her needs up, like her, and then I accidentally clicked it this time, but she showered, so it looks legit. Just out of habit, I clicked it. And then I decided to have them woohoo again because I hadn't gotten a notification about her being pregnant, so I was just kind of like, okay, she's probably not pregnant yet. But I did want them to try for another baby. And then we have random other kids being born that I don't care about, so I have them woohoo again. And so this is Sunday of 1301, so it's actually technically the last day of 1301, but I think I actually played through a little bit more to try to even out my spreadsheet, because if you watch my last one, right now my spreadsheet's a mess and it's not matching up the dates with all of the videos. So I've got her just eating, trying to raise up her needs. They did woohoo, and then I decided, okay, you need to clean this house. I can't remember exactly when I got the bathtub, so we have a very smelly infant currently. But I know at some point I do sell the shower and get the bathtub. So I want to say it's when I redo the house for when she becomes a toddler, but I could be wrong. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is the last day of 1301. And I want to say that this is where I started working on the bathtub. Yes, because the baby was disgusting. So I wound up getting a bathtub, and that way we could actually bathe the toddler as opposed to her just sitting in her own filth. And then I kind of rearranged the bathroom, not very well, but it was medieval times. Like, they realistically wouldn't have had an indoor bathroom. It probably would have just been a chamber pot and maybe like basically a sponge bath type of deal if they did do stuff indoors. But if they were poor, yeah, see, now I'm cheating her needs because I've been trying to raise them for the entire day. Oh my gosh. And then Vlad kept calling over and over again, so it was just so annoying. So I wound up muting their phones later, but I hadn't done it yet. And then I actually sent her fishing instead of William and some random ladies in our house. So I asked her to go home, or tried to. I couldn't figure out how, so that was fun. And then I forgot that they can update the sink types, so the baby's just sleeping outside in the hot weather. And then I've got him going out there. He winds up essentially taking care of the kid for a little bit. And now, as you can see, the kitchen sink is broken, but she was doing really good with fishing, so we wanted to make some money, and then I believe that I have him work on stuff. So she's just kind of learning skills, and her dad and mom are trying to make money for any potential other siblings that we might have. So I have him taking care of the baby while his wife is fishing. And we are into Monday, so I'm almost caught up on my spreadsheet. So basically the difference is that between 1301 ends on a Sunday and 1302 is supposed to start on a Wednesday. So I believe I played through Tuesday in this video, so that Wednesday would start 1302 like it's supposed to on the spreadsheet. So that way it all makes sense and the world is back the correct way that it's supposed to. And then the mod I have gives you these cute little birth certificates with your kids, so I hung them up on the wall. I thought it was really cute, and I haven't gotten any notifications about her being pregnant yet, so I decided, oh my gosh, Vlad is in our house again. And then the stove broke, so I have William fix it, and oh my gosh, there's just a random vampire. At least he's dressed somewhat more medieval, I guess. Agatha, I don't want to visit you, sorry. Technically they already live in Henford on Bagley, so we wouldn't visit, but okay. And I wanted to have them woohoo again, but Vlad was here, so he's romance blocking my founder sims. And then it catches fire, and I can't fix that, so all I could do was replace it, but I didn't have enough money to replace it, so we had 0 money and 0 stove. So I tried to get her to go fishing again, so that way I could actually cook food. And yeah, then the baby got up. It was a whole thing. Like straight disastrous this year. So I have her just taking care of the baby. She's supposed to be fishing, or he's supposed to be fishing, sorry. And she's going to be taking care of Catherine, which is our little baby. Then I send her foraging because the baby fell asleep. So at least that way we could kind of get stuff. I almost wanted to send him hunting, and now I'm cheating his needs because we need him to fish and replace our stove that he caught on fire. So I have him breed frogs, and he for some reason doesn't want to fish because it's raining out, but I don't really care about the rain, so he's gonna fish anyway. So I had Cecilia go foraging, so I'm just adding those things to the fridge. I'm sorry, to the larder, because that would have been what it would be considered in medieval times. And then I'm trying to make the money to replace our fridge, or I'm sorry, to replace our stove. And I finally got the money, so I replaced the stove. And now we can cook. We can't make much, but we can cook. So she's just going to be making some kind of full meal. And again, like I said, she's not yet pregnant yet again. So at some point, I do want to have them woohoo again. But, I mean, truthfully, they're a really good team with each other. Like, sometimes he'll take care of the baby and she'll take care of the fishing, or he'll take care of the fishing and she'll take care of the baby. Like, they're definitely not standard medieval spouses, because back in the day, most of the time, men didn't usually care for the kids. It was pretty much like the woman's job was to take care of the kids. And he caught a strawberry, and so I saved that in their larder. Basically, I'm just selling everything at this point except for the frogs because he's been breeding them to try to make money. But I did make food, and so I'm just trying to like kind of get her needs up a little bit better. I actually fast forwarded this too. So this year's kind of, other than the fire, it's kind of boring. Like, not very much happens this year, but it's okay. I honestly kind of thought about combining this video and making it 1301 to 1303, but I don't want to make them too long, and this one's already at about 20 minutes, or about 23 minutes-ish, so I didn't want to keep doing that. And then I realized I was trying to have William breastfeed the baby. So he's just trying to do what he can for his wife while she's sleeping. And then we find out that she is pregnant again. And she looks really big for just finding out she's pregnant. So I kind of had an inkling that the kids were going to be multiples before. Like, I assumed that they were going to be multiples based on the size of her stomach. Which, if you look, it looks larger than it normally would on the first notification of pregnancy. And then this thing kept popping up about pregnancy freakouts, and I just removed it because in this time period, not only would her parents have been likely not alive, but that would basically be what she's supposed to be doing, is having children. So no one would be upset with her about it. And then I sent her foraging again, just to try to get some things for that. He was really happy to learn of her pregnancy. And then because she was out, I did cheat her needs. I didn't really want her to come home from foraging and have already like peed herself and starving to death. So I did cheat her needs. And this is where we added plaster to all of the walls inside, just because they wouldn't have had screws, so I didn't want them to show. And then I added wallpaper to the outdoor. I did, however, flooring to the house, but I realized very quickly that I did not have enough money to do the flooring. So that had to wait. And then I'm just still breeding frogs. I do eventually give this part up, but and then I started trying to space these signs back out. I had stacked them all together, and I realized that when you click on just one and click go fishing, I think you can only get certain types of fish. So I spaced them out and basically made it to where you could click on each sign individually and fish to hopefully catch other types of fish, just because he was catching the same stuff over and over again. So I thought maybe this would help. I'm not really sure if that's what it does, but yeah. And then I did cheat the baby's feed need because we've been having some issues with her not being breastfed. So I didn't want it to do that. And she was in there trying to feed the baby. But also, like I said, I might be cheating some needs occasionally. I'm going to give myself that grace, just because this is already a very difficult and interesting challenge. And even later, you'll kind of see that I do it a lot more than I do now, because later on there's a lot that happens. So at this point he's just trying to fish, and I put the frog back in his inventory, and now I believe she's going into her second trimester of pregnancy, but I decided to do the flooring in the house, so I was able to get that with the money that he made from fishing. And then I kind of decided, okay, the baby's room needs a windows, so I put some windows up in there. I had to move the print and then the birth certificate a little bit, just so that they weren't in the window. And I wound up just kind of, I realized you could change it because I didn't know that before, but I wound up not doing it. And that's pretty much it for that period. Catherine does end up, I want to say, no, it's not this year. So at this point, Cecilia's still about the second trimester of pregnancy, I want to say. It may be the first, I could be wrong. But so she's very newly discovering that she's pregnant. And William is just trying to fish at this point to make some money because now he has more kids on the way. And he caught a freaking violin from the pond. A violin. So we got really lucky because that was a pretty decent find. It was 425 simoleons that they made from it. And I'm going to take it. Like, if they find something while fishing, I'm not going to take that away because it would be the equivalent of finding another item. Or, you know, like maybe he traded with some wood. And as you can see, she still cannot breastfeed due to the mastitis. I don't know how to remove that at this point. So I'm just going to be cheating the baby's feeding need. So here you just have us taking care of things in the household. And I wound up just trying to see if Catherine was going to live to be a toddler, which she does. So I will